Hello everybody. Be a short video tonight. It's January 17th, 2018. It's my day 1.250 and I want to talk about time. Time? A very wise trans woman by the name of Julie made a comment that time can be a trans woman's greatest ally. And it took me a while to decipher that a little bit. And obviously, for a person who's on a hormone regimen, oh, my voice is really resonating in excuse me. The longer, hang on, sorry. Oh, that's Crystal Light. Sorry, I had tea and then I just drank some Crystal Light. Anyway, for us who are on hormones, time is a good ally because we need time to pass. If we were to look at a calendar, mine's buried under a book. Every day that we're on hormones, in theory, there's a little bit of change going on. And while those changes are not as quick as we want them to be, as not as fast as we want them to be, our hair may not be growing at the rate we want it to be. My nails are not growing. Breasts are not growing. We want to get through that cocoon phase, for lack of a better word, that transition part of the phase. We want that clock to go by so very quickly because we hope that given time and nutrients and whatnot, our bodies will shift a little bit. That's what we can hope for. In my case, about a year ago, I had to lose 106 pounds. And I could only lose safely, half to a pound a week or a month. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a doctor. I don't want to be sued if you croak. But, there's a rate to which losing weight is healthy and a rate to which losing weight is unhealthy and can lead to complications as far as type 2 diabetes and other things. You can really mess up your liver and your kidney and whatnot. So, a miracle diet that you lose 40 pounds in 3 weeks, you're going to hurt yourself in the long run. And what's the point of losing weight so you can have surgery for you to die shortly thereafter from other complications, right? So for me, time was very important because I could only lose so much per week healthily, And then time also comes into play when we're on hormones. And, we find out that to have an ORCI done or GCS or whatnot, gender affirming surgery, gender conforming surgery, we have to be so long on hormones and we have to be so long full time. And the video that I have about Germany says you have to be full time for 2 years. In the United States, it's a year. And again, that's going to change as time goes on, the WPATH standards of care change. But that idea of the passage of time can be a very good ally there. Another good place where time needs to pass is with those around us. And I read tonight one of the local trans women is getting a little bit of flack from her parents, one of her parents, about transitioning and whatnot. And another very wise trans woman, who I believe is Willow, and I won't say your last name because I don't want to butcher it. Willow said something about, so-and-so said let them have a tantrum for a year and see if it changes. And, that's another factor of time, And I always harp on, and if you've seen any of my other videos about 7 months, to me 7 months is such a milestone. By the 7th month, usually other people can figure out something's different about you. They may not be able to put their finger on it right away. But something's different, and I don't know why that is. That's just an average. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos that were like my transition, and they would do 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month, 5 month, whatever. And after watching a good 30 of them, I realized that yeah, somewhere between around that 7th month is this threshold to which you begin to go, you know what? I see the girl there. I see the woman there. And you can also watch the trans woman's eyes, okay? Because previously to hormones, their eyes usually, the person is dead. I mean, the person just has no life. They are a zombie. Even though they might have a smile on their face and they're trying to be happy or whatnot, you can see they're dead on the inside. And then at some point, they become alive. Their eyes. I can think of my friend Jamie. You look at Jamie now, and her eyes are smiling. There's a smile in her eyes, and she's so happy. So again, I think time can be the ally on a lot of things. And obviously, as I said at the start, it can be very frustrating initially. Why aren't these changes happening as quick as I want them to? Why do I have to, we all say, I wish I would have done this sooner, why did I wait so long, etc., etc. But time, the passage of time is very, very important. And that's why I think Julie said the passage, time is a huge ally for a trans person, definitely for a trans woman. We need that time. And the video that I did yesterday, real quick, about the other video that was posted from someone else, talked about, having 7 to 8 years. And granted, that's a gross generalization, but I can tell you as a parent, my daughter is undergoing that right now, and she's not going to go between being a little girl and a young woman overnight. It takes a while, and yes, you could say, well, you're a little bit older, you don't have much to change to do or whatever, but we'll never know till we let that time happen and give ourselves the opportunity to let it happen. And I almost think too, again, when you get to that 7th month, prior to the gestalt changing, I think other people feel like they can persuade or impact, or a parent or spouse or a sibling, grandparent, someone, a coworker, anyone who kind of feels like they have a little bit of authority and direction over a trans woman or a trans person. Up until that point, they don't see a change. And so it's like, well, what difference does it make if you stop and you detransition? You go back to where you were before, and several times I've seen posts and conversations where that's literally what the parent or the child or the spouse or the child or the sibling wants. I'll take you out of it and say, for me, Karen, why can't you just go back to the way you were before? Get a haircut, detransition. You could think that these breasts will go away in time. What little breasts I have, I want to keep. Fight you for them. But again, they're like, why can't you just go back to the way you were before? And it's so unfair for someone to ask another human being to do that. I mean, we wouldn't tolerate that, in any way, shape, or form from someone else. So why do people feel like, why is a change in our life causing waves for them? And so again, they're like, ignore our pain and go back to the way you were. So it's, it's la 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 la. And I can tell you firsthand, detransitioning, it don't work that way. And if any silver lining came out of my detransitioning, it's that, number one, I was a late bloomer, and when I started hormones in my 20s and my 20s, when was I? I was 22 years old. Hopefully, knock on wood, plastic. Hopefully that maybe threw a monkey wrench in the development I was going through at the time. You know, since I was a late bloomer, I mean, obviously I'd already gone through most of puberty and my hips and everything. I mean, that ship has sailed. But if anything, maybe there was a little flick of, estrogen getting into the code saying, hey, don't fully develop this male trait. I don't know. We can hope. We can dream. But again, the idea of time, and again, usually I think about time, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And maybe even so, but I almost think we need that time to figure out who we are and what we like. And they say our tastes change every 10 years. Our chemical changes on our tongue changes every 10 years. And that's why our food, things we like, change. And can you imagine what changes are happening all over our bodies? It's not just breasts, or in my case, lack thereof, but all over, So something to think about, or at least keep in mind. Time is somewhat on my forefront today because tomorrow is my last full day of life and work and whatnot. And then Friday, the second day, Friday is when I go up and I have my second consult with my surgeon. And so, as I mentioned before, 10 months ago, I was on my way to have surgery. And I was on my way to have my consultation, done my paperwork, and I was told I was too fat. And so 10 months have passed. I've lost 104 pounds to date. I'm hoping that's enough, and so that's where time for me is. I'm kind of going, if it was a day later, then I would, I would just have, 10 hours to wait, and then I would be on my way up to see the surgeon and everything. I still have that. That's a different time. It's such a encapsulated small piece of time. But I find myself, I'm working on a D&D game and run out of things to do. I'm researching green witchcraft, and for my D&D game, and also for my own education and whatnot. I'm really digging what I'm finding out too. By the way, I tried Wicca when I was younger, and it coming from a Catholic background that was so, and this is off the topic of time, I guess maybe I'm filling time now, but as a former Catholic, I can say, a patriarchal based religion, and maybe in the Bible where you have, St. Peter saying it's better to rape a woman than love a woman, and all this other stuff, and really treating women like shit. And then to come to a different religion that's like, you don't need a priest or a bishop. I mean, again, Catholic, I have to say that I was raised Catholic. Former Catholic, bishops and archbishops and cardinals and the Pope. I love the Pope, by the way. Pope Francis is like my favorite Pope. That was the name I was confirmed under, was Francis, by the way. But I love Francis because he's somewhat, when someone hits them about gay people and he's like, well, who am I to judge? He's like the Pope, I'm the fucking Pope. I can say what I want. I'm the freaking Pope. I think that was on Family Guy. But again, to have nothing between you and your relationship with the divine, however you interpret it, that's pretty damn sweet. And also the incorporation of the feminine and the masculine is also pretty sweet, I think, as well as the acknowledgement that there's good and evil in everyone. There's dark and there's light in everyone. I think in the, again, back in a little bit of Catholicism, but the idea that you have a deity that is everything that's good. For balance, then you have to have some power that everything is bad. And I like the idea of looking at, in shadows, you have, to have a shadow. Let me see if I can do this right. You have light and you have darkness. You can't have one without the other, and so why do you love this and hate that? Accept it for what it is, and again, go from there. And there's definitely more than that for another video for another time. But as my stepfather said, follow, if you are involved in something that's going to strengthen your relationship with God or with the Almighty, and it's love based, dig, learn more. See, search your feelings out. Boy, my hair is getting long. Sorry. Thought about cutting it, but not time yet. Not time yet. When I can braid it and come up with a really cool braid, then maybe that'll be it. I remember last year, there was a girl in our support group, and I remember one night she came and she said, I've reached every trans woman's dream. My hair is long enough to get cut. And it's very, very true. You can take your hair and go under your chin and touch. That is a huge step. And my daughter has a sprained ankle, and while we were in the waiting room, my daughter's braiding my hair. And I would never have imagined that 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago. To be sitting in the waiting room and my daughter wants to sit and braid my hair. To have your own flesh and blood sit there and go, how pretty you look. That's a good look for you. Warms my heart. So anyway, passage of time, important, necessary, frustrating, possibly. Yep, no doubt it's there. And we will see. We will continue on this journey. I think that's it. Otherwise, I'm going to start repeating myself. So, best of luck to everyone. And we'll see. I probably won't do another video till I get back from the surgeon. And I hope to goodness, I hope I come back with a date. Even if it has to change later, just something to look forward to. You can burst my bubble quickly by saying, no, it's not going to happen. Let me up the video here. Hang on. Your world may shift. That would be just, I don't know. Am I a different person today than I was a year ago? Absolutely. Can I handle having the floor pulled out from under my feet better? You betcha. Is it still going to suck ass? Absolutely. All right, my friends. Good luck to everybody. I know I keep droning on. And one more quick story from the waiting room today. Oh boy, I know my voice. Now my voice is really resonating. Darn it. I know you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to go. Got it. But it was neat today to, again, be in the waiting room. And for when my daughter went back for triage, she called me her mom, and Mrs. and ma'am and her, and she, you can sit next to her. She pointed to me. You know what I mean? I mean, other people too. And that's, Amelia said something on her video about confidence and being not misgendered, but being appropriately gendered as a ma'am. And I think we lose sight of how wonderful that feels. I mean, not that I do. It's one of those things. I just love it. And like I said in the video the other day with Karen the NPC, to have an authentic feeling that just feels so right. And my stepfather has another good line about, if something is right, you will feel it. And it's like water being absorbed into a sponge. It happens. As opposed to water that gets splashed on a rock and that gets broken apart in the chaos and friction, and that's definitely something that has guided me on my transition. It has felt so good. All right, my friends, I've gone over 20 minutes now. I'm not exercised either. Usually I say, look at you, you've done 20 minutes on the treadmill. I've not exercised in 5 days, and I've lost weight every day. And as long as I'm losing weight, baby, Gray Owl ain't getting on the treadmill. I'm going to have to eventually. Maybe. And that's what Penn Jillette wrote in his book, Presto, that, Cray Ray had said, our bodies never go through winter. And maybe the cold weather is helping me out here. He said, stop exercising and let your body sleep and trick it into hibernating. Does it work? I don't know. Have I lost weight? Yes. Am I happy? Yes. All right, my friends, that's it. Good luck, and I will see you all. Just looking at the monitor. I will see you all next time. All right, bye-bye. Good luck. Good luck on your journey.